G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. Today I bring you a very special game. There is a LAN tournament that is happening shortly and these games are part of a qualifier for that event. So that's what we're looking at right now. We've got two of the world's best players. Demu, currently ranked, well, how about we just introduce him properly? Ladies and gentlemen, in the south of the map, in the color purple, playing as the Chinese, representing Team Liquid. Currently sitting at about rank 2 on the ladder, it's Demu. And in the north of the map, in the color red, playing as the Ottomans, currently sitting at about rank 15 on the ladder, it's Sass. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. A pleasure to have your company here on Lipany. I tell you what, I'm so excited. I'm sitting forward in my chair. I'm peaked. I'm ready. How you guys doing? Welcome back to another casted game. Drink of the day, we've got juice. Actually, I should take that back. We've got orange drink. Sorry. I need to make the distinguishment because I need to distinguish between the two, just simply because I don't want you guys thinking out here I can afford juice. It's slightly more expensive. Anyway, let's talk about this matchup. I love this matchup. I love playing this matchup as the Chinese. It warms my heart to see Demu playing on the Chinese in this matchup as well, because the Chinese in particular are very good against the Ottomans. They just have everything, every tool of the trade that you need to counter the Ottomans is there. And because of that, it just makes it such a breeze to play with them. So as an example, one of the things that we don't see anymore, but we used to see quite a lot, was an Imperial official early. And what that would mean is that if you ever got rushed or attacked with an early spearman, that you would always have a way to gather gold and be able to get your age up in. You'd always be able to put down your Barbican and defend your gold if you needed to from any aggression. It was very simple. On top of that, you also have access to the Zhukunu once you reach Song Dynasty, and that's going to allow you to pretty much counter every single one of their units on the condition that you're able to take out the meta. That's the one trick. The meta provides that +1 ranged armor to all of the units nearby, and it can be a little bit troublesome. But let's ride on board with Sass though and take a look at him and maybe consider what options he's got today for this game. So the most common thing that we see out of the Ottomans is typically a 1-base play. It's rare that we see them go into a 2-base play here. Excuse me, I just had to clear my throat. I was going to let you guys hear it, but I said, you know what, we're still quite early in this game. I don't want to upset, the OGs, they'll stay till the end. They don't care if I clear my throat, but, maybe the people who are just watching Age of Empires 4 content for the first time, they'll hear me clear my throat. They'll be like, that's disgusting. Anyway, where were we at? I can't remember where we were at. Right, oh yeah, Ottomans, that's right. We're talking about the Ottomans. We're talking about how they've got a couple of options as to how they can play it. But I think the key here is going to be looking to get to castle as quickly as possible for Sass. I think that's going to be instrumental in playing this game. He wants to look to try and secure the relics. The only issue to note is that when it comes to the MIA, so the Mehmed Imperial Armory, which is the Age 3 landmark that he's got, the Chinese have already got everything that they need to deal with that, right? Like, if we think about it from the perspective of Demu, he's got access to the astronomical clock tower. He could just go in a nest of bees. And nest of bees, I don't know if you've known this or if you've seen this, but they do quite well against mangonels. They do quite well against pretty much everything at the moment. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I suspect they might get nerfed. I suspect the nest of bees probably going to get nerfed. And I'm kind of grateful that it managed to survive another patch. It feels good. It feels good. When you've got 5 nest of bees and a whole bunch of spears, like, you just laugh at the enemy. What are you gonna do? Just try. You've just got too much reach. Anyway, let's check in on that south side and see how Demu is doing. He's obviously aged up. First Imperial official is out. Second one about to come out. He's looking good. He's looking handsome. He's looking sharp, and he's thinking about throwing down his Barbican. Where is he gonna be putting his Barbican? North side's actually really good if he wants to go for food protection. Now, we are playing Lipany, which means that you're going to have a little bit more berries on this map. Means that deer are slightly less important, but they're still obviously important. We want to try and make sure that we've got them covered. He could also look to Barbican the front just to guarantee that he's got strong gold coverage, but I think if he wants to play a little bit more hectic, I think a Barbican up here is actually really nice, because then that covers this gold as well, covers the berries, covers the stone, covers absolutely everything. It's a little bit further out though. That's the other thing to note. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe he doesn't even go for a Barbican, at least not yet. Maybe he delays it. We've always seen these or we can always see these potentially strange, not strange, but interesting strategies like the professional scout strategy that we're seeing at the moment, together with like just a fast castle. It seems like you can do this on every single civilization. It doesn't really matter who they are, where they're from, that you can just get away with this no matter what civ you're playing, and it's going to be a smart strat. But you can see that Sass knows that, right? He's already out here, he's already being annoying, but it's not really going to matter for Demo. Demo's just going to be able to pick up these deer, bring them all back home. Sass is now going to look to try and get a bit of intel. Let's see what he spots and whether it changes how he plays, because at the moment he's definitely looking towards castle age. Sees a little bit around the backside, just double checking the base. Yeah, there's no production coming through here, so he is just 100% going for a castle age timing here. 6 vils now on the gold. It is certainly going to be a castle. Meanwhile, on the side for Demu, he does look a little bit delayed, and he's doing what he likes to do quite often. I typically object to this. I don't think that wheelbarrow this early with the Chinese makes a lot of sense. Just mainly because when you pick up wheelbarrow, you're going to go from 10 carry capacity to 15 carry capacity. And when you do that, especially like as an example around your mill, that's essentially reducing your tax by like 33%. Yeah, 33%. I'm just making sure the math is okay, I'm just gonna stop. Anyway, the reason why is because when you drop off at the mill, you get 1 tax. Whether you drop off 5, whether you drop off 1, or whether you drop off 50, you still get the same amount of tax. It's not a percentage, it's not like 10, it's just every hand-in. So when you're doing less hand-ins as the Chinese, you're generating less tax. And look, tax isn't a huge component of your resources in the early game, but it is significant, and it is something that needs to be respected. So I think there could be something to be saying about, you know, leaving that wheelbarrow to a little bit later. But let's check in with him, though, and see how he's doing. And you can see he's got absolutely everything rallied out. A little bit of harassment over on the deer. He's going to have to drop this one if he wants to keep the scout alive. He's going to do his best. He's got 7 scouts out, and indeed he does drop the scout. I have seen a suggested change for professional scouts, and I think it might be a bit reasonable, and that's that when you drop the deer, there should be an animation that plays. It shouldn't just be drop the deer and then move on to your... Or like go back to 1.6 movement speed. It should be drop the deer, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now you're good to go. And then that way, these spears would have killed this scout. And look, it's a small little detail, right? It probably doesn't change much in the scheme of things, but it's one of those things that reduces how often you go for the professional scout's tech just because you know that you're going to be able to get away with it. And now Scout's moving over to the other side of the map. Demu's brought in enough food for the moment where he said to himself, you know what? I don't need to go for this deer. You can protect this deer all you like. I don't really mind. I've got other deer on my mind. And Demu now with venison on his mind puts the Barbican down, and he does just go for that safe Barbican towards the front. Nothing too crazy. Obviously can't put this Barbican up right now because there are quite literally units out here. Age up's coming through for Sass. It's a beautiful little spot. He's going to be looking to put the blacksmith on the top side of the base by the looks of it. Now, I am going to float another question to you guys. How do you feel about Fast Imperial here? I'm a big fan of Fast Imp. I think even in this situation, it makes sense. It's one of those things where it's just like the further along you get as the Ottomans, just the better it gets. It gets so much better. Especially when you start looking at your Imperial Age landmarks, like the Istanbul Observatory. It's just incredible for the amount of bonuses that it offers you once you're an Imperial. Like, first and foremost, it's a free university, so that's, what, an extra 400 or so wood that you've got in the back pocket. Age up now comes through for Sass on that north side. Let's see if he shifts it. We've seen players opting to try the Springled. We could potentially have it. We've got to have one scout that moves off into the stealth forest. Sass now going to be chasing continually behind the base Sapahi, as well as a couple more spears out over towards that east side. And relics on the way back through now. So relics have started to be picked up. He's got 2. He's actually going to run right over the middle here. He's just going to cap the sacred site. This is super greedy by Sass, but you got to respect it. And I think that's just because he knows that Demu's in a really tough spot right now. He's got the professional scouts. He's gone for the Song Dynasty. He wants to get to the Castle Age, and he's going to go into Imperial Palace. So not going to look to play into that clock tower like we spoke about earlier, which makes sense, right? He's only on the 1 TC here. It's not on 2. Typically, you're going to need a second TC and the economy that it provides to be able to support that clock tower and actually get a decent amount of units out of it, but at the same time be able to defend those units. Because don't get me wrong, you can make astronomical, or you can make clock tower nested bees out of a clock tower off one base. You're just not going to have any spears to defend them. Really, really cool mechanics here by Sass. The fact that he's looked at this and said, you know what, I think I've got time. I've got time. I can still get 5 of the relics. How many's he actually got? Yeah, he's going to get 5. He's actually going to get 5 relics. He's stolen one away from this side. I don't know exactly where it was, but I suspect it was somewhere around here. And he had the spears in position. Maybe down a little bit closer. I don't know exactly where it was, but I assure you, it was definitely Demu's. It was definitely Demu's. Demu now going to be moving in to a stable. Expect to see your supervisor brought over immediately for this. This is gonna be the one right here. So double stables now opening us up, and this Chinese strategy is so much fun. I love this. So going into double stables right now. The only way that Sass is going to be able to counter this is with spears and crossbows. He needs spears, he needs crossbows to deal with it, because there's going to be so many units so damn quickly on this map, and he's going to pop the Imperial Spy's ability. He sees the entirety of the economy right now of Sass. He sees the walls starting to come up on the west side. He sees the Amar moving down towards that southern position. And with his Imperial Palace, he spots the enemy troops starting to come through. Now, I just want to shout out right now the fact that I love playing with the line of sight. Or watching with the line of sight. You can see the difference the line of sight makes. There is so much that line of sight allows you to determine, and not having it just really kills a lot of my desire to really get into these games and understand them and try and provide that next level analysis. I could give you more basic stuff if you like. Like, here we have some cavalry. They're gonna kill. They gonna kill. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a big fan of the line of sight. I really like it. You know, still my favorite from Age of Empires 3 was the dual line of sight. So basically you could have line of sight on both parties at the same time. So you'd basically have this lancer that was running around, but you'd also have line of sight down here on these lancers of the enemy. And then obviously you could see the entire enemy base as well. And that just kind of gave you a good idea on where both parties were at one time and what they could see. Because right now we don't really know what Demu's up to. He could be up to some, he could be doing some tricks back there. Demu, are you up to some tricks? A little bit. All right, well, looks like he's going to start moving over onto stone. Beginning to... with this many vills, you'd think it's probably going to be a keep, but I know the Chinese, and I suspect this is probably going to be a second TC and a keep. Let's check in with Sass, though, see how he's doing as the upgrades are starting to come through. He's managed to take all 5 relics, and it's at this point right here where I think maybe you could play, or you could make a tilt at going Imp. Staying on the 1 base. You've got the 5 relics. Just play safe around the base. You got the Janissaries that you can always call Janissary Company. And that's another thing to note. I mean, we talked about the crossbow spear a little bit earlier. Janissary is going to be just as fine against this many lancers. Demo up to 12 lancers now. All right, I think it might be time for me to open the drink of the day. Give me a sec here. I'm going to need 2 hands. Lancer's going to go in. He tries to deny the sacred side. Not going to happen. I didn't shake it. That's a cardinal sin. That's a cardinal sin. I didn't shake it. I shook it before we started the cast, but it's been sitting for about 13 minutes. It's idled for 13 minutes. That's a long time idle. Give me a sec here. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. Don't worry, folks. I can tell you right now. We got Springwoods on the way. Second Springwood coming out as well. It doesn't actually say how large the radius is of the Springwood. You don't get to know that. They just say that they increase the radius. You have to believe them. You have to trust them. That's it. Cab numbers looking good. Quite a few scouts in here mixed in with the Knights, which will be very nice. And have a look at the amount of cab that he's got here. This is really starting to build up. Sass on the defense, or rather on the offense. We can see exactly what he spots. This is a very difficult to attack angle. Ideally, he wants to come in from behind, but even then, you don't really want you don't want to challenge this at all. This is so difficult. He can try and come up through this area and like look to attack. The trouble is the cab will move to block here immediately. So Demu does the right thing. Is the game really loud right now, or is it just me? I feel like the game's very loud. Do I need to turn down the game? I think I need to turn down the game, right? I'm just gonna leave it there. Siege Workshop now going to be coming up. He's moving into... It's got to be the knob. Ain't no way it's not the knob. But you can see that he does the right thing. He abandons ship here. Had he gone into to fight this right now, this would have been a very, very painful loss for him. The position that he had in this area was absolutely divine. And that could be the consequence of having these 2 wood lines towards the front. You know, often we look at the wood lines and we say, okay, my TC's here. I've got 1 wood line to this side and 1 wood line to this side. This is suboptimal if you were to compare it to this one. Let's check in and see. We've got lancers on the move. So this is much better because you can wall this across. You can wall across here. At least that's the way we typically look at it. But we saw Sass use it very well right there on the offense. So More and more units now making their way. It's going to be Barbican. This is definitely a little bit more attainable for Demu. But speaking of attaining right now, it looks like Demu just going to go inside the base here and look to try and pick up as many Vil kills as he can. Meanwhile, back at home, things are not looking so peachy for the Swede. More and more Lancers continuing to find Vils. They're just running towards the exits. They say it's okay. It's all right. We're not too fussed. Is the Barbican working down? Barbican doesn't have the... Oh, no, it does have the Springwood emplacement. He's not working down the siege, though. Vil's on the move. Nesta B's finally out. That's going to be the one saving grace he's got here in this situation. Plenty of crossbows back towards the main base. Lance is still looking for love. Whether they've found it or not remains to be seen. He's taken 7 workers so far. There's some beauties down here. And, you know, if only you had that Imperial Palace right now, right? That's the difference that it makes in this situation. He finds the Vils, and Sass just going to be committing 100% to Castle Age here. It is crazy the extent these guys are going to. Demu completely ignoring the army in his base. Says, you know what? It's probably just better we don't fight it. And I think he's 100% right. He's still right. But how much of your base are you going to lose? We've lost 2 landmarks. We've lost a stable. We've lost a blacksmith. What's next? Maybe the Vils? All right, maybe the Vils. Then we're going to lose the Vils now as well. That's quite painful now. We'll check back in on that top side. Lancers are still out here. Town Center together with the Springwood and Sapahi should be able to deflect. And indeed they do. Vils on this backside just look to migrate once again. 3rd wood line. It's up on top here. And Demu in a very difficult spot. Numbers are good for him, though. I think he can probably fight this. I genuinely think he could fight this. And actually, the Janissary, you do not underestimate the Janissary. One more Nesta B and he'll be okay. One more knob and you can go. Or if you want to pull that cab back from the other side of the map, Wolf out here as well. Looking to get in the action. Crossbow out. He's doing a little bit of a stroll, just getting everything together. Where did the cav go, by the way? Did the cav get completely cleaned up? It must have. So in the end, Demu only got 9 villages, which might sound good. But when you think about it, he was out there for a long time. Okay, we got it. We got it. We got it. I was a bit worried there. I'm like, hold on a minute. There's a Vil on very low health right now. But fortunately, we got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. All right, numbers looking very healthy here for Demu. It's actually got a larger army than Sass. Does Sass go imp here? Sass could be going imp here. I would be going imp here. He's going 2nd TC. I mean, you could go 2nd TC imp, but he's done a lot of damage. That's the thing. And the problem is, if Demu keeps making units, Demu's going to push him. Demu will be able to feel him out. Demu will know, okay, hold on, you're not making anything right now. And that will become problematic. But I do like the fact that Sass has gone into their 2nd TC, especially when we consider that Demu hasn't until now. Until now. It was a little bit late, but I think it's a good timing though. Look, when I say late within the context of this game, it means compared to your typical game. Definitely not late within the context of this game. It has been an action-packed game so far. Nesta B's, a little bit of a misfire, but they do end up shooting their shot. Slight damage. And already we've got a villager out. Now, this is a cool little bug that you can abuse. You only need to repair the Imperial Palace with 1 Vil. It's the same with the Barbican, unless you really want this bad boy to come up quickly. Because it immediately gives you back your line of sight straight away. And that's the main reason you build the Imperial Palace. It's the huge line of sight it gives you. Makes defending a lot easier. But now Vil's out over on the gold. You know, we talked about the potential for a Barbican to be here. Definitely would have given a little bit more deflection. Plenty of cav on this top side. They're going to go look for a raid themselves. And might have to consider walking back towards the gold. A couple scouts down here going to get caught out. This is a very strong game coming out from these two. Now, keep in mind the garrison is hosted by Rising Empires. I want to remind you guys, Rising Empires are going to be hosting the garrison. And it's going to be a LAN event, which is very exciting. I don't know. I think they might be, they're to an extent community funded, but I think they're also officially funded. So very exciting. I know for a fact I'm going to be watching. I'm not going to be there because it's in Europe, and I don't live in Europe. I live in Australia, and that's a very long travel distance. I think it's about the furthest you can go without traveling interplanetarily. That's pretty much it. Lancer's going to get caught out. This is not good for Demu. He's picked up a couple Vils here. But he's losing so many Lancers, and with these Lancers, this is a great trade for Sass. We know that he's going to Imp, and the fact that he's going to Imp is a great sign for him, because the Ottoman Imperial Age is one of the best. It is incredibly powerful. Now, that's not to say the Chinese Imperial Age is weak, but what the Ottoman Imperial Age has is tempo. The moment you go to Imperial Age, give them like 60 to 90 seconds, and they're gonna be absolutely in 5th gear, rearing down the highway at maximum speed. And that's what you're about to see. So with the Istanbul Observatory coming online, that's going to mean we've got that higher production rate. So 100% production rate instead of the 40% production rate that you would have previously seen. I mean, technically, it's what's the imperial rate? Slightly higher. But it basically means all of these buildings are now producing in absolute overdrive. It means anything that's affected by a blacksmith is producing in overdrive. It is crazy just how much these are. So you can see military unit production rate increased 20, 30, 40% by age while within the influence of blacksmith or university. Istanbul Observatory increases the bonus to plus 100%. So that basically means that your units are training twice as fast than what they normally would if you didn't have a blacksmith. And if you did normally have a blacksmith, then probably like 60% faster, but that's not... I mean, I guess that's technically the way to say it, but anyway, we'll move on. Walls are coming down now for demo, and I gotta say, I love these walls. I love these walls. Often I talk about, you know, walls and getting out there and making sure that you're walled up. This is actually a really good wall because it's close to home. It's easy to defend. I can guarantee you Demo's not gonna have any issue defending these walls. It might be a little bit harder out towards this edge, which is part of the reason why I'm a big fan of like making sure you play connect the dots with your walls. So you'll connect this wall onto this stone, and then this stone would come across over onto this wood line, and then this wood line over to here, and then this one you'd probably just wall off over on this side as well, just to make sure. And then that way your walls are much closer. And if there's battering rams out here with 5 knights behind, they're not going to be able to break through and eventually get in, because your walls are down here. They're much easier to defend. A little bit more risky for your enemy to get in. But now Nestor B's numbers. Look at the Nestor B's numbers. They've a little bit of misfiring on the back. He's up to 6 knobs now. 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we got 6. Normally, I'm pretty good at recognizing the number of knobs, but that one took me a little bit by surprise. Too many knobs for me to count. More knobs than I'm used to seeing. Oh, Lord. It's all right. Oh, only the real G's are here at this point. Okay. Give me a sec. I got some more orange drink to drink up right here. Give me a sec. I took 3 gulps that time. That's how you know it's good. I took the first one and said, I need another one. Then I took the second one. Said I need another one. Could have sculled the whole thing. Upgrades are on the way through. The Janissary is going to clear this out. They've already got their elite upgrade. They've just got their Janissary guns coming through. And now we see elite Sipahi. This is one of the most difficult moments of the game right now for Demo. This is an incredibly tough spot. And the reason why is because his opponent has gone Imperial Age. He is absolutely pumping right now. And if Demu loses his army in a fight that happens right now, and so does Sass, then that's okay, right? Wrong. Because Sass's army is going to reproduce so much faster. It's going to be... He is just going to be printing out the wazoo right now. Let's take a look at the military schools and see what they're producing. He's actually just producing Janissaries, which I love. I think Janissaries are incredible units. Fourth military school here. How many military schools does he have? Okay, there's the 5th one. Another TC coming up. We're going into a 3rd TC. Starting to feel a little bit like Age of Empires 2 here with all these TCs coming out. You know, those guys love their TCs. More and more siege making their way onto the field. We've got 5 Springalds now. Keep in mind, after the siege changes at the... well, how many patches ago was that? It was a while ago. Springalds no longer counter enemy siege. They're a little bit different now. Stone wall coming up on the front. Imperial Palace did get repaired. So is the Barbican. And now going to look to try and wall in on this front side. Definitely the right call here. We hear the Springald emplacement firing off. And now back towards the middle of the map. Sacred Site timer continues to tick down. He's got 8 minutes on it so far. Not long to go. He's working his magic here. There's the first of the bombards. Rolling off the lot. Has he got the MIA on bombards? He does. MIA's on bombards, providing free siege throughout the game. One of the best landmarks. Honestly, if I was going to pick landmarks, you know, we talk about like the Regnitz Cathedral and make a joke. Okay, it's overpowered. Bro. What is so good about this wonder, or this landmark rather, is it just constantly provides siege pressure throughout the game. And I think that's what's incredible about it. You've just got guaranteed siege pressure. You don't have to think about it. It's just always there. It's literally just pumping non-stop. But more walls now coming up for Demu. Still just palisades on this bot side, but he should be fine. Got to try and throw a quick wall in between two buildings. A little bit of a trap. Spears running out, still in the castle age, yet to hit the Imperial. And this could be a really tough timing. Demu needs to get up, and he needs to supervise his production buildings immediately. If we look here, okay, he's got 36 crossbows. All of these guys need to get... Oh, I don't like it. Oh, I don't like it. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I do like it. But I don't... Oh, it's going to be so close. I think he can sneak it. I think he can sneak it right now. He's just going to sneak it. He's going to be absolutely fine with it. Now, keep in mind the range on this. Have a look at the Great Bombard. It's 11 tiles of range. The range on your Great Wall Gatehouse is 10. So, already Sass has got the tools that he needs to dismantle the defense of Demu. The question's going to be about how long Demu can hold on and find tools of his own to deal with the siege of Sass. Plenty of cavalry on this top side of the map. Sacred Site timer still ticking down, by the way, and he's looking to secure more and more of the map. The longer this goes, the better it's looking for him. It's looking very good. Sass now finally going to see the Great Wall Gatehouse. It comes online. He returns fire immediately. You can see the range on it. 10 tile range. Nesta B's in a bit of an awkward spot here. He's just looking to come give a little bit of a love tap. Vill's brought out to repair as well. Elite upgrades on the way. We've got elite crossbow, elite spear. We've also got +2 for ranged attack. And now we're going to witness on the south side of the map, the Great Bombard makes its way down. A huge amount of bonus damage against buildings. Doing almost 600 damage a shot against these buildings. He's very intentionally bringing it out over into this direction. He could have just put it right here. I wonder what the thinking is behind that. First shot off. Is he trying to pull apart the army? Is that what he's doing? Is he trying to manipulate Demu into coming out and taking this? A couple of vills down here, and that could be all it needs. These vills right here could just siege down this Great Bombard. Let's have a look and see how he plays it. Is that what he's going to go for? He's just going to go for the repair instead. Second Great Bombard's out now. You're not going to out-repair Great Bombards. Keep that in mind. They are way too great and way too bombastic. Is that a word? Can I say that word? I don't actually know what bombastic means. I'll need to Google it after this game. Plenty more siege added in. Both players approaching 200. Well, not approaching. Sitting at 200 population. Demu going to wall the front now. He's holding on for dear life here. You can really feel it. Hand cannoneers are starting to come out. Let's check and see if he's picked up pyrotechnics. It's on the way through. He's also looking to get siege works for a little bit more defense on those siege engines. And the Great Wall Gatehouse will go down. It surprises me that he just kind of left this. He said, I'm not going to go after these. When it felt like easy picking. Spears now. Demu looking to do a little bit of a classic spear raid. Makes his way towards the north side. Maybe peel off a couple of them, send them out east. Peel off a couple, send them out west. There we go. Oh, he's just going to take the fight instead. Probably a dangerous fight here, considering there's a lot of units in the rear, but he's going to peel off more. Great Bombards now. They've done their job. He moves on. And take a look at this. Nesta B's teeing off on the mangoes. Great Bombard looking to try and work down the knobs. So much damage. So much damage. Imam's getting great value from the heals, though. Huge value from the heals on the Imams. First Imam does go down. Second Imam does stay alive over towards that east side. Great Bombards in the back. Going to try and pick off some Nesta B's. They're just chilling. They're going to have to... It takes out the first Nesta B without too much of a hassle. More Bombards coming out. It really feels like he's being pulled apart. Slowly, indeed he is. Cavalry round the back now. Sass, with style, comes in from behind. Looks to clean up the last remnants of the knobs. The two Great Bombards. I think everybody forgot about these Great Bombards. 3 minutes until Sacred defeat. I completely forgot. Everyone's forgetting right now. Where are your brains at? 3 minutes until Sacred defeat. Now the spear number is starting to build here. Nesta B's rallying towards the middle. It's a classic combo, but the Great Bombards are reigning supreme. And this was my question when the patch first dropped. The very first patch that changed Siege, I said to myself, okay, how do you counter the Great Bomber? Like, genuinely, what do you do against the Great Bomber? It is a unit now that has no counter. It is an apex predator. It is the apex predator of the Age of Empires 4 battlefield. As long as you're able to... I mean, to an extent, it's symbiotic. It's got a symbiotic relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it. Pretty decent game right there coming out of the Garrison qualifiers. Make sure you go check them out. I'm going to leave a link in the description to where you can watch them live, as well as where you can find out more information about the event. So go check it out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching.